Hi guys! Welcome back! Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe. Alam kong galing tayo sa very long hiatus. Siguro mga 2 to 3 years na yung huling upload ko na maayos. But nag-struggle ako looking for a good reason to post or update anything. So I think what we have for today is more than good reason to do it. And I promise, I'm going to keep consistent at it. I've been practicing very hard to stay consistent with creating content for you guys. So please do subscribe if you haven't done so yet. And with that, let's jump. So what we're going to talk about today is my quick travel experience to Tokyo. We went to Tokyo last June on a company incentive trip. And during the time of researching for that trip, medyo nakulangan ako dun sa makikita mong material that will help you prepare yung tamang tips and hacks para fully ma-enjoy mo siya on a shoestring budget or yung minimal lang yung gagastusin. So today, we're going to go through that. I'm going to show you some of the things that I did and some of the things that I had to prepare in order to enjoy my trip fully. Breaking this down to 5 parts. First is where we went, saan kami pumunta, saan kami nagstay, and a little bit of disclaimer din siguro. Number 2 is what to prepare ahead. Ano yung mga dapat ihanda para fully ma-enjoy mo yung experience mo in terms of communications, your payment options, etc. Some of the processes important in between. Number 3 is the highlights. Ano yung mga pinaka-importanting bagay na dapat niyong puntahan where you have to go to fully enjoy it on a budget. Yun yung importanteng keyword dito. There's a lot of places you can go, but not a lot of places where budget will allow. Number 4, of course, is how much I spent. Ano yung ginastos ko in total, because I'm sure you're going to be very curious about that for preparing for your trip. And then finally, ano yung mga tips, small tips and hacks, and then final thoughts, conclusion natin about this entire trip. Okay? Are you guys ready? Sige, let's dive right in. So first, where we went. And again, a little bit of disclaimer, we were able to join this trip on a company incentive. So meron kaming travel agent that prepared a lot of the important stuff that you will have to prepare. However, we did do some research because my wife intended to join me as well. We opted not to kasi dahil nga merong itinerary yung travel agency. So medyo baka hindi kami makapag masyado. So what did the travel agency cover? What did the trip incentive cover? The visa application. But I'll give you guys the cost of this as well kasi nga na-research na namin. Some of my itinerary or most of the itinerary while we were there, airfare and accommodations. But again, don't worry, may research namin siya. So I'll put the costs of that in the end so that you can plan. We stayed in Sunshine City Prince Hotel sa Toshima City in Ikebukuro, Tokyo. So I had a lot of expectations. Of course, coming in, first and foremost was that it was going to be expensive. But I quickly learned na hindi mahal sa Japan. Arguably, may mga bagay nga na mas mura pa sa Japan kaysa sa Pilipinas. Second was that there was going to be a communication gap. But interestingly enough, it was very minimal. I never had a hard time communicating with any of the locals using certain apps. So later on, explain ko rin yun. And then finally was that the transportation was going to be so complicated kasi upon researching it, there were several lines, sobrang daming lines. We're not used to that in the Philippines. Very intimidating to a first time traveler to Tokyo. So yun yung my expectations, but very quickly I learned that I was wrong about these misconceptions. And sobrang pleasantly surprised ako na na-enjoy ko pa rin siya despite the. What do you have to prepare ahead of time? So obviously, first and foremost, your payment method is very important. So what I used during this entire trip was my Maya Visa debit card. It was very useful because all I had to do was put my cash into my Maya savings and my Maya wallet. And then from there, by the way, hindi to sponsored post. I'm just very happy with the service. From there, any place that accepted Visa debit, tinanggap siya. You just swipe or tap it, okay na siya. Maganda pa nito because I was able to sort out my communications. My Globe number was active the whole time I was there. So anytime I would use it to pay, aside from not having to bring so much cash, gamitin mo siya, it would directly convert, it would send me a text onto my Globe number para makita ko yung amount. So I'm able to keep track of my expenses. At the same time, sobrang convenient niya. Internet access. I used an app called Nomad app or Nomad eSIM app. Ang kagandahan ng Nomad eSIM is anywhere you go, hindi lang sa Japan, anywhere you go, they're a US-based telco company, again, not sponsored, that would automatically locate yung carrier in your destination country that is best or most reliable for you. I only spent $15 US, roughly around 600 pesos at the time of registering, tapos may rebate ka pa for referrals. So I'll link my referral code sa ilalim para sa mga interested. Quick caveat lang, your phone has to be unlocked para magamit mo siya. So kung naka-globe or smart lock ka, hindi mo siya magagamit. Pero 5 gig was 30 days, so yun yung 600. And napakaganda na. Yung mga kasama ko, they were having difficulty with lining up at the airport, or yung mga meron ng nag-roaming, they had some difficulty with their signal. I never had any problems. Internet is very important because your go-to apps, your very, very important apps for enjoying this trip are Google Maps and Google Translate. So for the communication gap, a lot of the Tokyo natives are used to tourists already. So sanay na sila that we speak either very little or no Japanese, or tuturo lang natin in pictures. But if you really have to converse with someone na medyo complicated yung mag-iusap, you could use Google Translate. Para dun sa complicated na railway system or any of the other transport methods they have, Google Maps naman is very effective. All you have to do is input your place of origin, saan ka magagaling, and then input your destination, and it will show you a guide on which station to go to, which car dun sa train, saan ka sasakay para malapit ka sa exit, how much walking there is. It will estimate your time, it will estimate the cost ng fare mo, and then it will give you all the other options. Gusto mo mag-bus, gusto mo mag-taxi, gusto mo mag-bisikleta, Google Maps is your friend. Next is the conversion rate. The conversion of Japanese yen at the time of recording this video was 0.40 to 0.41. There are places na makukuha mo mas mura, pero that was generally the rate that it was going. Finally, anywhere you go, lalo na sa mga mahilig mag-shopping, make sure to bring your passport with you because their tax refund process is very simple, much simpler than in other countries. All you have to do is meet a certain amount, 5,500 yen if I'm not mistaken. Pag na-hit mo na yung amount na yon, upon checkout, meron sila mga counter para sa mga tax-free purchases. You show them your passport, they scan it, and then you get your, they nire-rebate na nila. Kinakaltas na nila bago pa nila i-check out. So very, very efficient. Sobrang useful para sa mga mahiling mag-shop. Now we jump into the highlights. Ano yung mga bagay na sobrang na-enjoy ko about this trip? First and foremost was the transport system. Being intimidated by the complicated transport system based on the guides and the maps that you will see, napakabilis nagbago nung opinion ko about it when I was able to experience it for the first time. All of the information you need is in all of the signages. All of the signages were available in English. Buying a ticket, so what I did was, because isang araw lang yung free day namin, I no longer bought a JR pass or a Suica card kasi according to my local friends, may utilize mo siya kung talagang ilang araw kang magpapabalik-balik. Because I only had one day, masasayang siya. So I opted for single journey tickets. The single journey tickets come out a little more expensive kasi the rates that you pay are for locals, whereas the JR Pass and the Suica card, pang tourist siya talaga. So wala yung mga taxes. So yun lang yung disadvantage niya. But aside from that, using the ticket vending machines were easy. May English option siya. I highly recommend that you take note of the station numbers instead of the names. Sometimes mahirap tandaan yung names or you have to check your Google Maps pa para i-check ulit yung name. But if you look at the station number and the color, malalaman mo na yung line, malalaman mo kung saan ka sasakay, saan ka bababa. So very, very key napakaganda ng transport system. Kung pupunta ka ng malayo, again, punta ka ng malayo or ilang araw kang lalayo, get the day passes. Pero hindi naman the single journey tickets are fine. The cost ranges from 210 yen to 400 yen depending on how far you are going. 210 yen translates to about a little over 100 pesos, 90 to 100 pesos. So, quite affordable, especially if you consider the distance na ita-travel doon. It's very fast, efficient, and comfortable. I really enjoyed traveling by train because all of the trains interface with each other. Dugtong-dugtong sila. So even if you change lines, madali lang lumipat. Karamihan nung transfers underground and air condition siya. But even if you go up, dahil sa klima nila, dahil sa climate, very comfortable. It's easy to walk. The sidewalks, malapad sidewalks, malinis. So the train experience, amazing. Things to remember lang, 2 things, very important. Number 1, drinking and eating are prohibited. So, pag bibili ka ng food, tas kakain ka dun sa mismong binilhan mo or dun mo siya inumin, hindi mo siya pwedeng bitbitin around. They frown upon that, bawal na bawal yon. Also, you will notice it's very, very, very quiet. Everywhere you go, walang ingay. Yung mga tao, you'll even notice may mga signs, hindi ko na napicturean, pero may mga signs. Kahit yung noise na lumalabas sa earphones mo, pag sobrang lakas ng tugtog mo, nakakaabala siya sa katabi mo para sa kanila. So, ayaw nila nun. Very, very particular sila doon. So, please keep that in mind when you go there para hindi naman nakakaya. Next, we have the food. Oh my gosh, the food. Sobrang amazing talaga. Everything, being a person that enjoys Japanese food here sa atin, sa Pilipinas, going there is such a treat, such an experience. Sobrang mababago yung opinion mo tungkol sa ramen because it's very light. Diba dito sa atin, medyo malapot siya para maging masarap. Malabnaw siya pero sobrang lasa. Konti lang yung sahog pero hindi mo mafe-feel na lugi ka. And the price. What we pay 500-600 pesos for here, in Japan, it's only about 400. Sobrang sulit. There are a few ramen places. The most that I ate was ramen. Siguro I had ramen twice in one place and then another. So mga 2 to 3 times ako nag-ramen. Kasi we should try hot pot, shabu-shabu, sushi in a conveyor belt restaurant, sa Sushi Row. So that was nice. So the food, amazing. Sobrang sulit. In order to keep my budget low, yung expense, nag-focus ako sa mga street foods. So makikita niyo so pag-ikot sa Tsukiji Fish Market, I'll show you that in a little bit. Makikita niyo doon, I kept the expense to a minimum kasi talagang gusto ko ma-experience as much as I could. Next is, syempre naghanap ako ng place kung saan pwedeng uminom. And kung napansin ko dito na if you don't look hard enough, mapapamahal ka. There are places where it could be quite expensive. But again, Google Maps is your friend. I look for a place near the hotel with na maraming ratings, maraming reviews, na mataas yung review. So I settled with a nice, hidden away, almost like a speakeasy bourbon bar. Very small, very intimate setting. I took some of my friends here during our stay. 2 beses akong bumalik kasi nga sobrang nag-enjoy ako and medyo maliit lang yung ginastos ko dito. I spent about $240 per shot of bourbon, which is about 600 yen. So much cheaper than you would spend in the Philippines. So nagulat ako dun sa fact na yun kasi first world country siya, so expectation ko magiging napakamahal na itong mga ito. Next, the coffee. There were several that I tried, pero yung talagang pinaka na-enjoy ko was Tourette Coffee near the Tsukiji area. So sa bandang Tsukiji lang siya. Tourette Coffee is one of the best coffee places in Asia. I believe it's one of the top 80. Sobrang sarap ng coffee niya kasi lalo na kung mahilig ka sa matapang na coffee. The owner is the barista. The place seats very few. Pero kita mo talaga napaka hands-on, napaka-intimate, napaka-ganda nung vibe ng place. Medyo artsy siya. Tapos, ang tapang ng coffee, pero sobrang sarap. And then finally, Tsukiji Fish Market. I cannot talk about Tsukiji Fish Market enough kasi sobrang nag-enjoy ako dun sa punta ko dito. Kumain ako 5 or 6 times around here kasi talagang gusto ko masubukan as much as I could. Bumili na ako ng mga mura, tapos yung mga nakita ko na nasa YouTube guides, pinuntahan ko sila, hindi ako na-disappoint. Sobrang saya talaga. Another highlight is the Japanese people themselves. Totoo yung mga sinasabi na very polite, very courteous nila, even to foreigners who are clueless like me. They were so nice and accommodating. Ako na yung abala sa kanila, sila pa yung nagsusorry sa akin. And one of the things I learned was to try not to ask directions, kaya talagang dependent ako sa Google Maps. Because if you ask somebody, they would typically take the time of whatever it is that they're doing or where they're going to take you or to point you in the right direction. Nag-e-effort talaga sila. Sobrang legendary ng Japanese courtesy and kindness, and na-prove dito na totoo yun, hindi siya nababasa or nakikita mo lang. I expected the communication gap to be the biggest obstacle here, but they do exert an effort to try and understand you. So if another pro tip, if you can bring with you a few important Japanese words like excuse me, sumimasen, or thank you, arigatou gozaimasu, mga ganyan. Kung kaya mong magdala ng ganun, ma-appreciate ka nila all the more. Next, expenses. Magkano yung magagastos mo or how much do you have to prepare? First, yung pinaka-importante, we have airfare. At the time of this shooting, nag-check ako, kung lilipad ka ng August 3 onwards in 2023, you'll have to spend about 27,000-28,000 pesos with Philippine Airlines. Hindi na ako magre-recommend nung iba kasi terrible experience. But napaka-mura nito kasi itong time na to is when their weather, para sa kanila, their weather is not that good. Wala pa nung mga lamig, wala pa nung mga snow. So kung iniiwasan mo talaga yung ganon, bargain to, ito yung pinakasulat. They say June to August is the perfect time to go because the airfare is low. Sabi dun sa check ko, typical itong ganitong price ng flights. This is going to Narita, round trip ticket na yon. For visa application, sa nakita ko, single entry will cost you 1,500 pesos more or less. Hindi pa kasama dito, syempre, yung mga additional, kung may mga requirements ka na ibang kailangan na incidental, mga ganyan. But just the visa, 1,500. Kung gusto mo mag-multiple entry or double entry or multiple entry, parang 3,000 pesos or 6,000 yen yung nakalagay sa website ng visa processing. Next, accommodations. For accommodations, there's a wide range of choices depending on how comfortable or what amenities you would like. It can be as low as 1,800 to 2,500 for lodging. I'll show you that on screen. And then, for travelers ins naman, kung kailangan mo ng konting privacy, pero okay lang sa'yo yung sharing ng CR, mga ganyan, 3,000 to 5,000 pesos. Looks to be mga okay na. May mga 2-star hotel na papasok, 2 to 3-star hotels na papasok sa ganung price range. There's also the option for Airbnbs kung medyo gusto mo mas flexible, but that can be a little more expensive depending on where you decide to stay. A typical meal is about 6 to 800 yen. Typical yan, mabubusog ka na. Usually, malaki rin naman yung serving ng mga ganyan. Cup of coffee, usually mga coffee nila, hindi ko na sinubukan yung mga common, yung mga sikat na chain. Nag-focus ako sa mga medyo artisanal, yung low volume na coffees. So, alam ko na dito sa atin sa Pilipinas, typically nasa mga 300, 400 din yung mga ganun. Dun sa Japan, it costed me anywhere from 250 to 300 pesos, which was very high quality coffee siya talaga. Hindi ka magsisisi dun sa gagastusin mo. Outside of accommodations, airfare, and food, you can only expect to pay for your shopping na lang yung gastos, and then you have your transportation, which ang ganda nga yung transport system. So talagang makakalayo ka, mag-enjoy ka. If you do decide na lumabas ng Tokyo, pumunta dun sa mga nearby prefectures or lumipat ng Osaka and sa Kyoto, yun yung medyo may presyo na, nagiging libo na yung train. So that's where I suggest na plan your trips accordingly. Miscellaneous expenses, ito na yung mga incidental. So, kumbaga, kunyari, kailangan mong bumili sa mga Family Mart. By the way, Family Mart and 7-Eleven ang marami dito, but mostly Family Mart. Kahit yung food dun sa mga Family Mart, sobrang quality na rin. Yung onigiri na tiny-tiny dito sa 7-Eleven natin, doon ang laki, tas tunay siya talagang karne. So, napakasarap. Tapos, it will probably set you back about 80 pesos lang. Sobrang sulit. Yun yung mga miscellaneous, minsan yung incidental na bibili ka sa ganon. And everything that you need. Just like a convenience store dito sa atin, sa baba ng hotel nga namin, may Family Mart na pati mga souvenirs, meron na sila doon. So, kunyari, nakalimutan mo, may last minute shopping ka, pwede mong gawin sa mga convenience store. Ganda ng convenience stores. So, in closing, what have we found? What did I learn from this trip? First and foremost, and basically ito yung main point, no, is you have to visit Japan. Kailangan mo siyang ma-experience at least once in your life, pero definitely pag nakapunta ka once, mabibitin ka, tatry mong bumalik. Like right now, it's been a month, I'm still on a high. Yung isip ko parang nandun pa rin. Gustong-gusto kong bumalik. Pero kailangan ko mag-ipon ulit. Kailangan ko magtrabaho. But why? Why should you? Bakit mo kailangang bumalik? Bakit mo kailangang pumunta? Kasi number one, it's not that expensive. Sometimes we would splurge on gadgets and things na hindi naman absolutely necessary. Pero dito sa nakita natin, pag sinuma mo yung ginastos na amount, sobrang affordable. Kayang-kaya mo siyang gawin. It's about, I would say, equivalent to a domestic trip na medyo nag-splurge ka. Parang ganun lang din siya. Next is the experience alone is very rewarding. Talagang nothing compares to being able to immerse yourself in the culture of a different land. Kasi it is in this immersing with others that you find out more about yourself. You learn na, ang dami ko pa palang hindi alam. You learn na, there's a better way of doing it pala. So, dami kong natutunan ng mga ganun dito na tinatry kong dalhin dito ngayon as part of my discipline and learning and personal growth and development as a whole. So, napaka-rewarding yung experience. Finally, it's always a good time to invest in memories because these are things na hindi na pwedeng alisin sa'yo. These are things that you can share. So pag may nakakasalamuha ko ngayon na nakapunta na ng Japan tapos makaka-relate ka, kahit papaano, kakaibang sense of satisfaction and fulfillment yung makukuha mo from. And there you have it, our first travel vlog in Tokyo, Japan. Thank you all for watching to the end. If you like content like this, meron tayong upcoming pa na Singapore vlog naman coming very soon as I finish editing this. Sobrang tamad ko talaga kasi. But please make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification if you haven't done so yet. If you found value in this video, please do like it and share it kasi I would like to be able to help others maximize their experience for their traveling to Japan and kung saan pa man ako mapapalaring mapadpad, God willing. Alright? So that's gonna be it for today. Thank you all so much for spending your time with me. Stay safe. God bless you. And we'll see you again in the next video. Bye for now. Lalong lumalakas, syempre.
I think we should have some more fun. I still dream about the days when we were young. I'll take a hit and still finish in one. Yeah, yeah. Too far away from our hearts, yeah, yeah. The ones we keep close, we should never let